Welcome to CCRPG, where we open up our virtual table and play games with some good friends. I'm Bob, and I'll be running Lancer, an RPG by Miguel Lopez and Tom Parkinson-Morgan. You can find it at Massive Press on itch.io. Last episode, the DBC Crew successfully took Relay Station Trine as step 1 on their mission to bring down the comm station on Indol. Now, with access to the controls, they endeavor to open a blind spot in CoreSec's sensor net so they can land the DBC for their future exfiltration. They've done what they can to search the base for intel and hide the evidence of their assault. Now, we return to our pilots as they weigh their options.
All right.
Welcome back, pilots.
What were our options again?
I think so. I think where we left it last time is Astro had figured out that we had two stations to the north and the south, like communication stations. And he figured out that we would have to have one person in each station operating it in order to turn off the sensor net so that the DBC can land here. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Am I remembering correctly?
This sounds about right.
So what you determined last time, between your kind of poking about and also Rock having searched through the base and found some notation and various evidence from the people who were running this base before, it does seem that if you have someone at both terminals operating them at the same time, you can effectively use the sensor net. Like, you can at least input commands and stuff for it. Listed within kind of the booklet of like, hey, idiot who doesn't know how to use this stuff, here's the only commands you should ever need book that you found. Obviously, none of those commands were completely cripple our defenses. So you were able to test a few of them and see how they worked. So you have an idea of how the system works now, but you don't have an in-depth look at it. What I explained to you last session was that you could, with the information you have now and with the access you have now, you have the positioning in order to attempt the check. And I kind of told you what the problems would be. Either you get a full success and you open a hole in the sensor nets where you can land the DBC, and no other problems. A full failure would be you fail and an alarm goes off. And the mixed success would be you succeed, but an alarm goes off. But that alarm isn't the alarm that a ship is landing on the planet. So kind of still a bad mixed success there. People will know something is wrong, but on the other hand, they won't know that your ship is here. So you guys didn't really like that middle option. So you were trying to figure out other ways you could go about affecting change here.
Yeah, because even if they don't know a ship has landed, they sure will know when they come to the base to check it out and they see our ship there. Assuming that's how they respond to the alarm.
Also the dead pilots.
That too. So, yeah, I mean, I think we should, we want to really be secure here. So I think, last time we got a sense of the basic commands and stuff. It's kind of like learning a language. If we took time, could we, get a better understanding of the system? Or have we kind of exhausted, like, our knowledge using the commands we know?
The way you would get a better understanding of the system is messing with it. Messing with it comes with risks.
Okay.
So you could spend all the time in the world re-examining the same things you've already done, but you probably won't learn new information from that.
Also, don't forget that we're on a timer because they're timing their attack based on when they expect us to have the system down.
Yeah, I think we said, 7 hours was, and it's probably been like an hour or two already.
A few hours, because it took you time to land, get your mechs out, travel here, do the fight. Now, to be fair, the fight itself doesn't occupy that much time. But the trek here and the amount of time you've been searching the base, messing with the systems and stuff, it's been a few hours since you've landed.
Right. Who's the other person working with me in the other outpost or the other communication station? Is that Evelene?
Pretty sure it was Evelene.
Yeah.
I mean, we might just want to give this a go.
Well, nothing to it but to do it, I guess.
I also recommend Artemis may be able to help because she can leave the mech, but she's a combat AI, so I don't know how effective she is at.
Yeah, I was gonna say, has she ever hacked the thing before?
I mean, she probably knows about as much as you. So.
And do you trust her with a base that probably has some sort of weaponry?
I don't trust her to not launch a missile.
Do I have the commands to launch a missile from this base?
The kind of hacking that Artemis is most familiar with is hacking and slashing.
Yeah.
She would be really, really good at hacking with Evelene's mech.
I get it because she has an axe.
Yes, indeed.
It's a pun.
Hack and slash.
So there was the other idea that I had too of letting them know that something was wrong, but making them think it was a mechanical error by trying to flood the comms and buy some leeway on air. I don't know if that would work or not, or if we decided that wouldn't work, but
so kind of how I've been imagining it is it would probably be easier to explain a error in the system with an alarm going off than if they got data that a ship was landing, right? So in my head, that's kind of part of the difference between a full success or a full failure and a partial failure is that Rock's plan would be able to help you if it was a partial failure, because that alarm going off, maybe if you guys do some other stuff to make it reasonable that an alarm would go off, wouldn't necessarily put them on full alert. But if they get literal sensor data sent to their main base that shows a ship landing, you're not going to be able to explain that away very well.
Yeah.
So that's a good idea, Rock. If you have that as something you want to set up or something you want to prepare or something you want to do, if the middle alarm or a normal kind of things are fucked up alarm goes off, that would be a good way to recover that situation.
Yeah, we could do the old Han Solo thing. We're all fine here. How are you?
Just don't get flustered and start blasting the console with the rifle.
I'm a fan.
Boring conversation anyway.
Evelene, I told you to hack the console.
That's what he says when he shoots the gun. Yeah.
Look, it's not my fault. They're both the same word.
Is that something you want to set up for or prep for in case it happens, Rock?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good. So just so I understand, this means we'll attempt to disable the sensor net, and then if we get that mixed success where the alarm goes off, then we'll enact this contingency that Rock is setting up. Does that sound right to you, Rock?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you guys want to do stuff ahead of time to set up for that or make that a more reasonable thing in case this happens? Or is that something you only want to start working on if you need it to be a thing? You know what I mean? You describe for me how you want to prepare for what you're about to do.
Sure. So Rock, what specifically are you thinking you want to do? Create a false alarm? Is there a way we can ensure that seems legitimate? Maybe we actually disable some sort of system that could be verified. I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing here.
I don't know. I figured some of this would be more of the hacking side of things, which I'm not. I was kind of leaving to you guys. So I figured it'd be something that you could maybe spoof, maybe, send some sort of like audio feedback through the comms to them.
Yeah.
That could work.
Yeah. What if it's like something like a security system malfunction, and it just like something like maybe the part of the computer that controls the monitoring and the alarms. We could say, oh, this malfunction, and it set off several alarms on our base.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what is the most minimal thing you would alert for, and I'm like actually thinking about like my job at work. Like what is the thing that we would alert on? That'd be like people would ignore because it's like, oh, it happens all the time. Who cares?
Log4j vulnerability.
I feel like I'd be the opposite, Todd.
Yeah, that was a big clusterfuck.
No one's gonna get that reference.
Yeah, that was
I'm glad the two people who know how to hack are also the two people who understood that joke.
I mean, we could spend 5 minutes explaining it, but we won't.
Yeah, please no.
Right, 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, system malfunction seems like a good thing to try
So,
to trigger.
one other thing to prepare for, and now
Ooh.
Star Wars is. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what if we just killed the internet? I mean, okay, internet doesn't exist in this world.
Dastardly plan. Let's simply kill the internet.
Obviously,
communications.
I know that's
Penguin
literally
over here.
I know that's literally what we're trying to do, but like if we can eliminate it for like a subsystem, like I would imagine that would be alert worthy, and you can always chalk that up to like faulty wiring.
Okay, so explain this
what's
more.
your idea?
So let's say we disable the sensor net, an alarm goes off. What are we doing? We're turning off communications. What's going on?
Okay, how about we send a message through if the middle alert goes off saying that one of the Lancer's mech's blasters went off and hit like the comm relays, and that we're working on repairing it, but it sent an alarm through.
Oh, I like that. Actually.
That works. I can dig it.
One other thing I was gonna say, and Star Wars is really helping me here, but I remember in that scene with Han Solo, they're like, "What's your ID?" or whatever. And that's when he like shot the console because he didn't know what to say. So maybe we can investigate the dead mechs here. Maybe they have like a ID number or what do you call them? Dog tags or something. So at least if they ask for some sort of like verification, we'll have something to give them. I'm going to say this in character, so I'm saying this to all you guys. Okay. Can we find any sort of identification, operating numbers, base IDs, personnel IDs, something like that? So, if we do have to enact this contingency, we can have some verification ready if they ask.
Was any of that information on that complaint memo that Evelene found, Bob, from Smithy to Johnson?
From Smithy to Jonathan.
Johnson. Yes, Jonathan.
So here's the thing. You would have Smithy's information on that report form.
Yeah, Smithy was the one complaining, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I could be a Smithy. I never met the guy. I could pretend to be the guy though.
Oh, sorry. Who's Smithy?
I'll hand Astro this this message I pulled up from the files, which was Smithy complaining about all the staff being pulled to the main base to work on something.
Oh, okay. This works.
Yeah, I mean, I can pretend to be Smithy again, or not again. I mean, just it'll sound like it's from Smithy.
Is Smithy? What gender is Smithy?
I don't know.
There's no way to tell that from this report.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, is it just Smithy, or is there like a first or last name to go with that?
So the way I described this to you before, CHIMERA, is that a lot of logs that you saw back in the repository were very like technical logs. This is almost written more like someone who's fed up, like complaining. So it reads less like a formal like acquisition request, that the other things that you found there were, and it reads more like a person like very like they use the form for requesting supplies
is this from your Slack
yell
channel?
They use the form for supplies to yell at the specific person they knew would be reading it on the other end.
I got it.
Yeah.
What is their Slack icon?
Who's Smithy?
Yeah.
It is a single black feather kind of canted to one side on like a blue background.
Okay, it was going to be like a picture of their face. I figured we could sort of eyeball that, but no, it's just an icon.
Yeah, it's just an icon.
All right, so Evelene, you think you can impersonate this Smithy if it comes down to it?
Sure, I'll put on my best. I'll put on my best Smithy impression.
Do you have an employee ID you can send me?
I assume there's one associated with the message, Bob.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I'm not going to make up a number, but it's alphanumerical.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just in case I need to like type it in the keyboard or something.
Yeah. I'll hand it to you or tell you it, I guess.
All right. Guess that's the plan. Anyone have any further objections or thoughts?
Well, Dyne is not present as he is still working on the mechs. I figured that because Dyne was not present for any of the original,
I'll be relaying this unless you have like your radio.
Yeah, you guys can be talking
off
through comms. That's fine.
Yeah.
He's just not physically present. He's just like down there working on the mechs, listening to you guys. Going, okay,
yeah, I imagine it's one of those things where you hear, like, it's one of those scenes where it's like you're hanging off the side of one of the mechs, like trying to like close a gap in the chamber of like one of the weapons to be like, oh, this will misfire if this shoots again or something. And then just kind of echoing out of the cockpit that you have left open, you hear them talking as if they're all in the cockpit.
Yeah.
Something drops loudly. Ignore that. It wasn't your mech, Evelene.
Goddamn better be.
But we all know it was Evelene's
It
mech.
absolutely was.
Yeah.
You're right. The problem was from Todd's mech.
Who's Todd?
Astro. Sorry.
No. That's actually his nickname on set.
That's
just call him Todd.
That was his character name from the Slice of Life movie. He played a character who was just some guy on prehistoric Earth back before they went to the stars.
Slice of life romantic comedy, no action. It didn't do very well because it was a little bit outside of his range of expertise.
Romantic comedy, you have overestimated me, sir.
Well, there was certainly comedy in the movie.
It's actually just like a art house film because nothing ever happens in it, you know.
It was very experimental.
Yeah, and people are like, is this supposed to be boring or what?
Mm-hmm. But you guys did a ton of research to get things like very historically accurate. So it's taught in some schools as like, look at the detail, you know?
It went from slice of life romantic, in air quotes, comedy to historical drama.
Yeah, basically, it's a what are they called? Time period piece or whatever. What are those?
Something like that.
They're just called period
piece.
pieces. Yeah, it's like a period
drama.
piece. Yeah, it's a costume drama period piece from pre-space Earth.
Only Astro could start a movie off in two different categories and ended up being in a completely different category.
All right, so you guys have everything on the table. You can try to hack the sensor net to open a window for the DBC to get down on planet for you. This will be a risky check, which means that you have complications on 10 through 19. Additionally, because of the complicated nature of this system and that you have to do it across two different people in two different places, it is going to impose difficulty. So what are you guys going to do in response?
So it sounds like the two rolls are going to be made by Astro and Evelene separately, so we can't help each other.
You both are skilled in hacking, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so only one of you will make the check.
Oh, okay.
But because it is two people who are both good at hacking and not like one person who's good at hacking trying to talk someone who isn't like through it, I will let one of you add accuracy to the other's roll.
Okay. What is your rating, Todd?
+4.
I'm also +4.
Oh, okay.
Makes sense why you've negated the difficulty from this then.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do you want to, or do you want me? Should we flip
like,
a coin?
This is not me trying to push the load on you, but if you think about it, Evelyne's more of a hardware hacker and you're more of a digital hacker.
Yeah,
so,
that's what I figured too.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's the same exact role. I'm just thinking flavor-wise, it probably makes more sense for Astro to do it.
And we can even, you can even say that to Astro. So Astro's like, yeah, you're right. I kind of was delving into the operating system here. So I think I have a good sense of what I need to do. Let's go for it.
Yeah, you got this. And as Evelyn pulls out a slice of pizza and eats it while watching you.
Well, you're gonna be helping me because you're in the other. We're in two. I'm in the north tower and you're in the south tower. So like we're
you're gonna have to be like mirroring his commands on the other side.
Yeah, so we'll be coordinating.
So imagine if imagine that scene where there were two people counter hacking on a keyboard. But so imagine if that made sense and wasn't ridiculous.
The two people on the keyboard. Except now the keyboard's spread out across two buildings.
But now you have to do that because they cut the keyboard in half and put it in two different places.
Okay,
you know they did that scene deliberately to piss people off, right?
Well, I did this scene because I think it's hilarious. So figure it out.
Okay, let's just hope no one pulls the power supply plug.
Okay. Do you want to? I think we're both at the south side of the base, right?
No,
I'm in
Astro's
the north.
up north. You're at the south.
Okay,
because that is how it has to be done. Like one of you needs to be in each place.
I initially went to So I might have
when we were talking. South, we were at south. Yeah,
but I'll move back to North Tower where I began.
As part of the prep.
We'll coordinate via radio, like as far as like what commands we need to enter and everything.
Okay.
All right, so I will roll this up. So difficulty is canceled out by the accuracy, correct?
That is correct. Because both of you have hacker fix, I will give you accuracy to cancel that out.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Before you press that button, Todd, before you press that button,
a last minute idea.
Can Rock or Dyne contribute anything to this roll?
Ask them.
Okay, hey.
I gave you a failsafe for the middle success route.
Yeah.
So
I'm just trying to maximize our chances of success, I guess.
The best that I could offer is to have Artemis act as an intermediary to try and sync up whatever you're trying to do. But that is about all that I can do, because Dyne is not very He isn't. He has become more of an engineer than he has become a tech wizard.
Fair. Could
we can ask Artemis if
let's ask.
She's up to the task. I don't think that's her specialty, but doesn't hurt.
She's going to say yes.
Well, yeah.
Well, I guess the question is this: is there a way of making it worse if we let her do this?
Well, she can launch a missile
from a comm station.
I mean, if I've seen movies, you can launch missiles from anything that's connected to the internet.
I mean, if Artemis is as bloodthirsty as we think, like, wouldn't she purposefully fail so that we fight more?
That's a fair point.
I would probably end up telling Artemis, give or take, we're probably going to still be fighting our way out of here, so there's no real reason to do that.
So the good thing about Artemis and the fact that Orion is so good at AI stuff means that she can never purposefully act against the wishes or to the benefit of Orion. She will never outright do anything that would make things worse for Dyne on purpose, is what I would say. The rest of you, she cares less about, but she will never purposefully make a situation worse for Dyne if she can help it. But she will suggest things that are to her benefit if Dyne agrees.
Which usually results in me being like, maybe later. I did acquiesce and buy her all of those bombs, so maybe she's feeling generous today.
Yeah, can we get her involved in?
Sure. Which station do you want her at?
Bring her to my station. Can I talk to her?
Oh yeah. The way that I think we're gonna set it up, Bob, is probably use her to not only help with the hacking, but to sync up the make sure that both commands go in like as seamlessly as possible.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think that makes
could be more
most
efficient
sense.
than us like use. She could be like a middleware that, like, inputs our commands at, through the right sequence, I guess I'm trying to say. So instead of us simply relying on radio communications, which we'll still do to coordinate, she can make sure everything's in the proper sequence and synced up correctly and all that.
I don't know what kind of advantage that gives us, but it's something.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't do anything, but that's kind of how I see it. Like maybe the commands go through her first, her systems, and then she does the actual final input, if that
makes sense. Okay.
Oh no.
I am going to give an option to Dyne.
Okay.
You can set up Artemis to help out with this. She will be able to, only in this circumstance, help with a pilot check instead of a mech skill check.
Mm-hmm.
Like, her normal, like, once around reroll ability.
Yeah.
Here's the downside. She's not normally meant to be able to help with this.
Mm-hmm.
So what I will say is she has an ability that will once per round allow you to re-roll a thing.
Right.
But you keep the new result even if it's worse.
Right.
What I will say is with Artemis's help, what I will allow you as a group to do is roll the first check. With Artemis's help, I will allow you to re-roll the check. But because you're using Artemis's help, the second time you roll the check will be with difficulty. So you get a second try at it, but the second try is with difficulty, and you have to keep the new result if it's worse.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
That sounds good. All right.
Artemis is set up, and Artemis is set up in your station, right? Dyne, yes. Not Dyne, Astro. All right, what do you need my help with?
All right, so I want you to help coordinate the commands that Evelene and I will be inputting. We're gonna send them. You're gonna act as an intermediate layer, um, interfacing these commands and making sure they're synced up before they finally get input into the system. You think you can handle that?
You're asking me to make sure your messy meat commands aren't as imperfect as they usually are.
Exactly.
I can probably do that.
Excellent.
Yeah, why didn't you just say that?
Yeah. I mean, fair point. It's much more concise. All right. It's funny that the AI has the better like human way of describing it. All right, cool. All right, Evelene, radio Evelene, you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's blow this.
All right, crack my knuckles. Here we go. 17.
Okay,
All
this
right.
is where the devil's bargain comes in.
Yeah, sure
A 17 is the intermediate success, which means if you leave things as this is the best result you could have gotten. If you leave things as they stand, that means the sensor net will go down and an alarm will go off. If you wish, you can use Artemis to re-roll this check at difficulty, but you have to keep the new result if you choose to do that.
Okay,
On the other hand, you could let this result stand and then go with your backup plan, but the intermediate alarm goes off.
So my kind of thinking was Artemis would be a good failsafe if we like right off the bat critically
failed.
Less
Yeah.
than a 10. I don't want to risk.
I don't think so, because your
rolling
best
it
roll
again
would
with
be a 24, and if you get a -6 on anything that's lower than a 16,
Yeah.
that's I think this is the best case scenario.
Yeah, I was in the same boat. If we really screwed up, we do the reroll.
All right, cool. Yeah, I think we're agreed. So we have a good backup plan in place. Let's enact that. So what happens?
Didn't need to initiate backup plan 1. Now we need to initiate backup plan 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that was a good thing to have in the bag of tricks in case you got a full failure right off the bat, you know?
Yeah.
All right,
sure.
so basically what happens is immediately you guys are working together and Artemis is coordinating your commands. SensorNet down. You can actually see on the kind of display of the holographic planets that kind of appears above the central console in both the north and the south station, that basically a single hole opens up in the SensorNet. But the kind of the thing that you've been working towards is as the hole opens up in the sensor net, you make sure that that is true, but you are still sending the data out as if that's still active. So you did the kind of trick where it's like you took a recording of a CCTV and are just playing it on loop, but you're doing that for the sensor net. So everyone else is getting the data you've recorded over the last like 10 minutes of that sensor net, which is showing nothing. And you're just sending it out on a loop. So everyone's getting the same data of nothing is happening over and over again.
It's just like the heist in Ocean's 35.
So you've successfully done that. But as soon as you do that, you see that a little red light has turned on the console next to you. It's not like a blaring alarm or anything, but a little red light has appeared on the console next to you, and not on the planetary console that you guys are on, but another console in the kind of command room itself is started to throw some errors onto the screen.
Okay. So I'll take a look at what is actually being said on that terminal with the flashing red light.
Yeah, so you head over, and the first thing you see is just like, you didn't anticipate this, but it's kind of like a mismatch there's some sort of mismatch in like what is being sent from the central, because the central terminal doesn't communicate, right? It does the data and then, sends it to the communication area. And basically it's like, oh, this is like the computer is trying to say like, this isn't the data I was expecting. Like the data still works, but like it's showing odd. Basically, the data is transmitting the way you wanted to, but it's showing odd. So it's basically been flagged. And you see that a communication is popping up on the screen that just says, "Hey, what did you guys fuck up over there?"
Evelene, you want to take this?
Yeah, I got it. Look, we're already working on a skeleton crew here. So some of the relay comms are fucking up right now. We're trying to get everything working again. Look, it was just we're trying to get it fixed. Okay, we know there's a problem.
I told you not to mess with the sensor net.
Well, yeah, but if we didn't do anything, the whole thing was gonna fail.
How is it going to fail? You should never have to touch that console.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like when we made replacement parts for.
Yeah, we're gonna say.
Remember the story we came up with
the misfire?
Yeah, because that would be a thing that would happen.
Yeah, well, I'm segueing into that. Okay.
Oh, you can start with something important like that, but whatever, you do you.
This is happening in real time, by the way.
She's burying the lead.
Yeah, I imagine that Astro and I imagine Rock, you're at one of these two stations, right? So you're like looking over one of their two shoulders, like seeing what's popping up on the screen,
Shit, I forgot where I was going with that. What was the last thing you said?
You basically said like, well, if we didn't do anything, the whole thing was going to go down. And he's like, you should never have to touch that system.
Yeah, but there was a misfire. Some of the systems got busted, so we're having to fix this shit.
Why was there a misfire?
Well, I mean, we're trying to make sure that we're patrolling the ground, make sure there aren't any attacks, and then someone screwed up and hit the joystick and blasted part of the comms.
They didn't have their safety on?
You're telling me?
Being out in the middle of nowhere is frying all your brains.
You're not wrong.
There is a couple of minutes where all you see is John F is typing, and then it stops.
Oh no!
And then it says John F is typing, and then it stops.
Oh my god, I hate that. Well, I mean, I'm not going to. From my perspective, like if this was a real time situation, I wouldn't. I just assumed he'd be pissed at me, so I wouldn't say anything.
And then, then a message pops up and says, "There's something wrong with the data I'm getting from your station. It doesn't make any sense. It's showing all clear, but it's flagged in the system."
Yeah, I know.
What did you do on the console? You need to walk me through it. You know what? This is hard. Hold on.
I'm not sure how much more.
You hear a beeping noise on a different console.
On the same, like...
No, it's the next console over.
Yeah, I mean, it's still in the room. It's just the console over. Okay.
Yeah, you hear a beeping noise on a different console. You walk over, and he is sending you a voice request.
Oh boy.
Boring
conversation.
Can
anyway.
I? Damn it, Todd!
Shoot the console.
Can I? Can I do something to the mic? I assume there's like a mic to talk for this voice request, right?
Yeah.
Can I do something with the mic to like get some real nasty interference so it's hard to make out what the voice is talking?
Yeah, go ahead. It would be a hack check.
Yeah.
It'd be a straight pilot skill check.
That's what I'm banking on. So a hack, I guess hacker fix would be the best thing here because I'm deliberately wrecking or sabotaging.
Smack it with your wrench.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that might be how I fix it. It is a
hardware
thing.
I could imagine you could probably like open up the side of like one of the wires or something and like create intentional like electronic interference by like moving some wires around.
Okay, well, here we go.
Take the shielding off of one of the wires.
I got 10.
10
That is just a success. If you didn't have a +4 to hacker fix, that would have failed.
I know. I kind of I hard stopped for a minute.
So
just mention something like the satellite is damaged, but the telemetry we're getting is still good. That's probably why it shows good still.
So you screw up the microphone.
Yeah.
You imagine now that your voice going out is going to have some robot-y electrical interference. So it will disguise your voice.
Yeah, I'll accept the Slack call. I'm running with this theme.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It featured Space Slack.
It's a Slack.
It's the Slack. Yeah, so it like the voice thing pops up and you just hear, all right, it's going to take you too long to type this out. You need to walk me through exactly what happened and why it's getting all screwed up.
So there's a limit to how much Chuck the player can bullshit this. Like, can I do like something where I just sort of feign understanding of how this all works?
Yeah, so you can. That would be like the manipulate roles and things like that.
I don't have that, but I do have stay cool, which is probably the closest I've got to that.
Dexterity and speed or precision. So I'm not going to allow it because that's dexterity, speed, or precision. This is more of a social check. Like this is a person you're dealing with and not an object.
Oh, what about the word on the street doesn't apply here. Never mind.
Can I? Can you relay this over to my station?
Yeah. What I'll do is I will actually turn on the radio so that it's sort of actually a three-way call. So you're hearing what's like. I'll space text you saying like, "Hey, I have to get on the call with this guy. Tell me what the bullshit here." So you can like message. You can text me what to say without, and then still hear the voice conversation. If that makes sense.
Okay. And how about I also make my way over to your station while this is going on?
That I don't know how long it'll take you, but yeah, if you can, that'd be great.
It would probably be a few minutes.
You can still text while you're walking though, right?
Well,
I don't know how people do that. I can never do that.
I can't text when I talk either, so maybe I'll just stay put.
What? You're Astro Jamin. You can do anything.
I can't walk and chew gum, okay?
It's actually a known fact in his biography.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'll just that sounds good. Yeah, have your walkie-talkie out. I'll send you messages and suggest things to say using charm.
So I will allow you to give accuracy to Eveline's roll if you roll a successful charm check, Astro.
Okay, makes sense. 20.
Holy cow, you
nails it. So even without being there, COMET Astro has a good sense of the kinds of ways to like play this off, and he's giving you that info. So here's the good news, Evelene, is you're going to have 2 accuracy on this roll.
Perfect.
Okay, 1, you're going to get accuracy because Astro is giving you tips, and 2, you're going to get accuracy because essentially the being prepared for this, since Rock was like, we need to be prepared for this situation. I imagine you had you weren't caught off guard by needing to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we kind of figured this was going to happen.
Yeah. So it is still, you're going to have to use one of your skills, but you're going to have 2 accuracy.
I mean, concentration's the closest. Stay cool is the only thing I could possibly think of. Otherwise, I think it's just a straight D20.
No, it's just going to be a straight D20 plus 2 accuracy then.
Okay, so it's when you get 2 accuracy, you just pick the best of the 2.
It's the better of the 2. Yep.
I was typing in 2d6 and I'm like, no, that's not right.
Well, you can do 2d6. We'll just only add the better of the 2d6s. You might want to roll
add
a d20
to the roll too, but
let me do that. That might be better. I'll do 3 separate rolls.
Yeah, you can just do them as separate rolls.
Because I don't see a way to do a flat non-skill thing in roll 20. I mean, there might be. I just don't want to spend the time. So the flat d20 without accuracy is spelled D.
Oh my gosh, the suspense.
I rolled a 7. I really gotta.
Okay? These accuracies need to pay off, or you're fucked.
Yeah, I know. I need. Well, here's the first d6. It's a 1.
A 1 isn't gonna do
start.
I
it.
need something better.
Give me a sec while I scream eternally.
All right.
Okay, done screaming. And the other d6 is a. What the hell?
Oh boy.
It is another 1, by the way, listeners.
Okay, you got 2 ones in a row. Okay, so 8 total, which is a failure.
Okay, I'm going to roll a few times to make myself feel better.
It's always a
Fair.
bad
5.
idea. When you lose, you're not supposed to look at the next few cards off the top of your deck. You lost. Just give up. It's okay. You'll get them next time, buddy.
I will be denied, damn it. Oh my god, these rolls. I know I get bad rolls, but that's a sucker punch.
All right, so here's what happens. You walk them through the various things that you think could have been a problem. You talk about that the blaster hit the stuff, and you're like, we're still getting good data, but it's not transmitting over to you guys as well as it should. So, don't worry. You're still getting good data. Everything seems fine, but it's a little fucked up. The person on the other side says, all right, well, luckily we have a few engineers that aren't doing anything right now. I'm going to send one over right now to help you out.
This is out of character. I have to make the joke. Negative. Yeah. We had a reactor leak here. Give us a few minutes to lock it down.
It's like they're only available when you don't want them to show up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna whisper to Evelene here. Start yelling at him. Start yelling about how we couldn't get people until now. Now that something's wrong, you're sending people.
I'm sorry, Jay. Could you repeat that? I lost you at the end of that.
Yeah, start yelling at him. Start yelling about how we couldn't get people until something was wrong.
Now you're sending us people when something goes wrong? What the hell?
Look, I've had it about up to here with you. We're doing our best here. Orders come from up top. I got your stupid message, as part of your requisition report.
Finally.
I don't control what resources you get.
Well, apparently you do, because you're just sending some engineers.
Because they're available. Fine. You don't want the engineers?
Yeah, you know what? We can fix this. We don't need your fucking help.
Make a pilot check again. No accuracy this time. It's just a straight check. You're just arguing with this dude.
I know. 11. I don't know how you want to...
You successfully piss him off. He goes, you know what? Screw you. And he hangs up the call.
So Eveline's been sweating bullets because she was not expecting to fail that bad, figuratively. And she just kind of flops in her chair and says, I need a drink.
I imagine Astro gets there at the end. You walk in as she just starts yelling at this guy, and you're like, what's going on?
I just have a half smile on my face. I'm shaking my head.
She wearily puts a thumbs up, like, mission accomplished.
Meanwhile, Dyne had walked into the other tower and started unhooking Artemis.
What was the name again? It was F. Jonathan?
Jonathan F. Yeah?
Jonathan F. Oh, sorry. Okay, making a note of that.
I mean, F. Jonathan sounds about right with what she just did.
Right. Does it? So this is like someone who's at the
This is someone who is at the main comm base. Yes. Who was receiving the requisition reports from this base.
Okay. Well, that worked itself out nicely, I think. Looking at Astro.
Astro's like, okay, so we're good to radio Torsay. Let her know she can land.
Yeah, we fixed the problem by yelling at it.
That often works.
Next
I was afraid that she was going to have to hack or fix the engineer.
Next time there's an audio call, just let me talk to him.
I mean, I had to hack the microphone.
Yeah, you can still do that, but
okay. Well, it'll be a team effort.
All right. Well, it looks like
go call Torsay.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty, but I think we're in the clear for now. So I'll radio Torsay on my my Omni hook.
Okay. I assume that either the sensor net is down or there's an emergency.
So it's the former, fortunately for us.
Oh, good. Okay.
That doesn't mean there weren't a few emergencies along the way, but for now, I think we might be good. So you are clear to land at your, when you're ready.
Okay, great. We'll head down. How is the landing zone? Are we clear? Is there space for us down there?
Yeah, there's. It's mostly just like frozen wasteland around this outpost, so there should be plenty of landing spots.
All right, we're gonna start the entry process. You probably won't be able to contact us until we break atmosphere, so we'll head down.
Okay, and what's your ETA on that, do you think?
Probably about 30-40 minutes.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Torsay.
All right, good job, guys.
All right.
Hey, Rock, did you ever tell us about the pilot you rescued?
I think he died.
Wouldn't use the word rescue liberally here. No, there really wasn't a reason to. He's dead.
Oh, he is dead? Okay.
Yeah, he died in the cockpit.
For some reason, I thought he was just unconscious.
No, he bled out before he could get medical attention.
That's like one of those moments. It's like, Rock, do you tell us about the... Oh, shit! And starts running.
I was just thinking, like, wouldn't it be funny if that was actually Smithy?
I mean, it could have been for all we know.
All right. Well, you guys have downed the sensor net. Torsay is going to be able to land on planet undetected. So you have a way to get back off of the planet now once you're done. So phase 1 of the mission is complete. What are you guys going to do for here?
Dyne is going to stay cautious and assume that eventually Jonathan is going to probably send an engineer, so he's going to be kind of on guard. Maybe eventually Jonathan will calm down, but just hopefully that he won't send an engineer until after we're the fuck gone.
Yeah.
Dyne prefers to stay cautious.
Is there any way with time we can clean up the signal and fix it? Or does that open us up to more
I mean, is there a point? Because, again... There's signs of a struggle.
What I would say is that it would take time because you would have to familiarize yourselves with the systems and figure out how to get it to, kind of accept the audio accept the data without flagging it. You could do that. What I will say is the trek from here to the comm base is going to take a few hours. And you don't know what you're going to encounter. Excuse me. You don't know what you're going to encounter on the way there or when you get there. And you don't know how long it's going to take you to bring down the extra system communication array. So it depends on what time you're willing to give it. You guys know, especially because of the extra work you did, to determine like what the like another way of dealing with the comm base is. I'm going to set this up right now for you because now you have some time while Torsay is landing. You can kind of review what tactical information you have. There are two ways you could approach the comm station based off of like the default base schematics you got, what extra info you were able to pull up from Rock's snooping ahead of time. Either you can do what the original mission set out for you, which is assault the base quickly, capture like the comm controls room, and hold that position, and make sure that they can't send a signal out of the system until after everyone else is done taking the capital ship, like enacting their part of the plan. So that was the initial idea, is you guys were going to take it, hold it, give them time to do their part of the mission, and then escape. Now you have another option. The other option is attack the base, but from a different angle. There is an entry to the base that you found out about that would go into the base itself. Like into the depths of the base. There's a more secure section of the base deeper into the planet. You would basically go down and you could permanently disable the base, or I would call it semi-permanently disable. They could probably fix it in a few weeks, but it wouldn't matter at that point, right? You could get in there and disable it long-term, so you could just get in there, screw it up, and leave. You wouldn't have to like hold a position for hours while like they do their part of the plan. Here are the upsides and downsides of the two sides. If you take the comm, or like the surface comm array, and just make it so it can't send signals for a while, you would have to defend that position. You would have to take it, defend it, and keep it offline. But it's on the surface of the base. If anything goes wrong, if you get in trouble, you can get out. You can, drop it, leave, get back to the DBC, and get out of here. If you do the other plan, you're going into the belly of the beast. This is a fully stocked CoreSec base. You would be going into the base itself, finding one of the three kind of like power stations that power the base. You would have to you can't just destroy it because there are two other power stations in the base. So you would have to get in there, set up the system to cause such an issue that it disables the entire base, and then leave, basically. But you wouldn't have to hold it for hours. It is possible you could get in there, fuck everything up in a couple of minutes, and then leave. But if something goes wrong, you're inside a CoreSec base surrounded by possible reinforcements.
Puts us at a bigger risk of
you not surviving or being captured. Yeah. If you do the topside plan, you'd have to hold it for longer, but if anything goes wrong, you guys would have a better exit strategy. If you go into the base, you could take it offline near permanently, not have to hold it for that long. But if something goes wrong, you're kind of trapped down there without anyone to help you.
Okay. Thoughts, anyone?
How long did we have to hold the base for?
A few hours, keeping the comms offline for a few hours.
I guess one thing to consider is, I assume it's a very large base, and if there might be like a back door or something. So even if we have it locked down in the usual locations, someone's able to like get into a panel and send a distress signal or something, then that.
Well, if the comms are down, the distress signal won't matter, right?
Well, if there's like a backup comms or something we're not aware of.
So the thing about this comm station is they will probably that's the thing you have to deal with reinforcements, is they would be able to send messages to other bases on the planet to basically say, hey, we're under attack, come help us, right? But there is only a single like comm array set up on this base that is strong enough to send signals out of system. Right? That's
I
what you
see.
need to keep down.
Okay.
You're trying to, like, by taking this, you're trying to prevent reinforcements coming from another system to fuck up the plan that's going on in orbit right now.
Right.
Because if you don't take down this comm station, what'll happen is they'll attack the shipyard, and all of a sudden a bunch of CoreSec ships are going to start flooding into the system to try and stop them.
Makes sense.
So yeah, you have a couple options here. Do you have questions about them, or go ahead and yeah?
I do want to make one quick side note because I keep meaning to bring this up. If they do send an engineer from the main base, we may even just run into them on the way up. So we might be able to nip that in the bud.
Oh, that's true.
But yeah, no, let's talk. I just want to point that out before I forget.
Do I think that there's any chance of us getting out of this, or either one of the plans is better for us not, CoreSec not knowing that we specifically were here?
Yes, actually. So the more dangerous plan, funnily, as long as you aren't captured, probably has less of a risk of you guys being identified because you won't be there as long, right? The longer you spend at that base, the more likely you are to be ID'd. So if you're holding the comm station for like a few hours while they do everything in orbit, that is longer for like a recon scout or someone to like get your signatures, get your IDs, and like send them to someone else to process. If you do the other plan, which is a little bit more dangerous, you'd have to attack that back entrance really quickly, you know, almost like lightning strike, right? You would have to hit that side entrance, get into the base, get to the reactor, get things fucked up, and get out. But it would also be, you know, a lightning strike. You'd be in and out, and there'd be less, as long as you guys aren't leaving like tons of survivors everywhere, right? There's less chance of you guys being seen with that plan.
And so when Rock did the research on this base, did he find anything out about like security inside the base?
That is how he knows about even being able to attempt the other plan. He knows about a side entrance. It will be guarded. You know, all the entrances of this base are guarded,
Sure.
But he knows about the side entrance. You know, it would be guarded. As honoring the fact that he does have, you know, extra info, Rock, I would tell you that side entrance to the base to get in, probably about as well defended as this base was.
Yeah, it checks out. Okay, I'll tell that to people.
Okay.
I don't like dangerous plans, but I lean a little bit more on that because if we're known to be here from CoreSec, then we're going all in with these people. We're going to start living on that capital ship if we have any chance of.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I figure either way, all my chips are on the table. You know, either we do this dangerous plan, you know, and put ourselves at being at risk at being captured, or we do this other plan and we get ID'd by CoreSec, you know, and that has long-term effects for us as well, like you said. So I sort of gravitate towards the plan that has more upside, which is the lightning strike.
Another upside that you guys might not have considered is it's a lot safer for Torsay.
That's right too. Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, it is worth being said that Curry and Torsay would probably have to spend less time on this planet if you guys are in and out quicker.
Yep. Yeah, so I mean that's my vote, but if you guys want to do the others, I'll follow you.
That's my vote as well.
I
agree. Yeah.
All right.
Looks like we're all in agreement. Yeah.
All right. So the plan will be, and I'll give you a little bit more detail now. There is a side entrance to the comm base. It is a large structure, right? It is a huge building. It is many times larger than the base you're currently occupying. The plan you're going with would basically involve you attacking a specific section that has an entrance behind it. You would have to take out the defenders there, get in that entrance. Now, it is like these are service passageways and stuff. They are mech sized, like service mechs go through these spaces. So you would be infiltrating the base probably in your mechs, right? So you would hit the side, you would descend into the base. You would make your way towards one of the 3 main reactor plants that power this base. If you were to just blow up that power plant, what would happen is they would switch to just using the other 2 power plants. What you can do, though, is if you can take the power plant and occupy it and spend, just a little bit of time putting some malicious code into it, you can have it basically wreak havoc on the operations of the base in such a way that it shuts the whole thing down. So you can't just go in and blow it up, or you won't probably achieve the outcome you're looking for. Like the base power would be interrupted for maybe like 10 minutes until they get everything switched over. If you can get in, take the reactor, and do some sabotage to it, you can keep their higher power systems offline for weeks without having to stay there babysitting it.
Okay, nice.
So we're still going to have to hold down a position, but it'll probably be a lot shorter.
For much less time. For minutes instead of hours. Yeah.
Only long enough to sabotage it, and then we're out of there.
Exactly.
This code, is this something that we can get working on ahead of time, or is it just something that you guys
you can do some prep? Yeah, absolutely. You can do some prep for that.
Okay. Can I consult with Rock to see what he knows about like this CoreSec base and their security measures and stuff?
No. Yeah,
okay.
Of course. Yeah, I'll tell you whatever. I won't know much about the code or like how to interfere with that kind of stuff, basic stuff, but like stuff you probably already know. So, but like when it comes to like the base design and setup and everything, like I'm assuming I'm the one telling you guys like there's a service mech entrance and we'll be in there with mechs and everything. So
that is 100% true. All this information is coming from the legwork you did in prior to the mission.
Yeah.
All right. This is being made a little creative. I don't know if this is something I could do or not, but
we can't allow that. Being creative in a TTRPG? Oh, no.
No. We squash creativity. I'm going to ask Hitchcock if I can like set up like a very primitive simulation of like power systems or something, just something I can like run code on, like kind of like a test program that I could just execute different like software packages to develop this virus that I want to use to sabotage their power systems. Does that make sense? It's kind of like a virtual machine. I could just a sandbox coding environment, I can use to and maybe he can implement like a sort of simulation of like power systems, something that would be basic but enough to kind of test out this sabotage software package.
Yes, I can do a few test shots for you. That seems like something we should do. Give me something, so that we can use for blocking. Something that I can use to visualize it.
All right. So let me set the scene for you, and I'll just sort of relay to him like the from what I know from Rock, the layout of the base, the 3 power plants, or the power plants with the 3 generators. I'll explain how we're trying to infiltrate, and then once we get in there, we'll try to disable the power plant.
This would be easier if we were shooting on location.
Well, I agree. This is a think of this as a storyboard for the actual shoot.
Okay.
So
I'll tell you what. Does this base have a power system?
It must. Yeah. There's power.
Well, let's take a look.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Hitchcock. Okay. Use what we have available.
Hitchcock is going to direct you to find the power system for this base. And then what he does, and you don't have to make any additional rolls for it. This is just, I like the creativity of this, and this is something he can do, is after you get close to it, he constructs a simulacrum of it.
Perfect.
So he's going to use his Athena class ability to construct a perfect real-time and fully interactive 3D model of a Blast 3 area. So he basically is like, okay, hold on, stand still. Take your hands off the controls. I need full control of my camera. And he basically scans down the power systems for this base, and this will give you a working model of... It won't be the same. This is much smaller than what you're going to be working with, but this is absolutely going to help prepare you for what you're going to need to do with the main base.
Okay, that's awesome. Perfect, Hitchcock. Once I'm on set, I'll be better prepared for my.
You better
cues.
act like your life depends on it, because mine might.
Understood. I tell you, Hitchcock, we're going to do great things together.
With my direction, you couldn't fail.
All right, cool.
All right. Anyone else want to do anything to prep for further action? Are you waiting for Torsay to land before you leave, or are you going to get out ahead of her? What is your action plan moving forward from here look like?
I think we were planning on fixing up our mechs after we did the hack, so...
We already fixed them up before.
Yeah, we did that last session.
You guys did some. You guys were doing the hacking at the tail end of the repair work. That is partially what Orion was helping out with. Is like you probably did part of the repairs ahead of time, and then Orion was like finishing some things up while you took care of the hacking stuff. Because I remember part of the discussion was, well, if reinforcements all of a sudden show up because we fucked this up, we don't want our mechs to all be damaged.
Right.
So
yeah, we were about to do the
sorry.
hacking first, and then I forgot who, but someone was like, "Nah, we should probably repair our mechs before."
That
we
was
do
Dyne.
Yeah, Dyne, the voice of reason.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything that I want to do. Like maybe just rest up and get ready to roll when Torsay gets here. But
Well, I don't know. I mean, Torsay will arrive in I think 45 minutes, or at least that's how long until they break atmosphere.
She said it would take them 30 to 40 minutes to get down to the planet.
Oh, okay.
But she's probably going to be out of contact for like 20 of it.
Yeah.
I was going to say, do we need to wait for them to get here before we start making our way?
Yeah, it's not that long, but we don't really need to wait for them. I'll be able to contact Torsay once they're on the planet through my Omni hook. And we can let her know about the plan. And we could probably tell her, like, if we're not back by a certain time, to leave and just, don't look back.
Realistically,
true,
that
yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
I was thinking that like we can make sure they land safely, but I'm like, it really shouldn't be a concern, I guess.
Well, if she doesn't land safely, I'm not sure what else we could do about that. Just, I trust in Torsay being able to land the DBC. Most of that's automated anyway.
Yes, it is. Because I just don't see a reason that we need to wait for them to land before we move. Honestly. If we're going to be, because it takes what, a few hours to get there, or how close is the main base?
It'll take you a few hours to get from here to the comm base.
Yeah. So
yeah, the sooner we get going, the sooner we're out of here, and the sooner we are clear of danger.
Yeah.
Yep.
All
so
right.
I would just
Yeah,
say,
especially-
like, when on our way there, when we think that they've landed, just send them the message of the plan and to be ready, and just continue on our way.
All right, sounds good. So you guys are going to head out from the base in advance of Torsay arriving. She'll probably be able to contact you to let you know what's up about halfway or less into your trek towards the comm base. This is something that you haven't had access to in a while because it hasn't been relevant. But with Torsay on planet and in communication with you, she can act as your operator, which is what she would normally be able to do. So at least for your assault on the base itself, if she is around, she can give you some detail on things and keep an eye on the surroundings for you. So.
Oh, good. Would that extend to where, like, will she be able to somehow monitor the base we're attacking, or is it mostly surrounding her area?
She'll be able to monitor around where you guys are. Telemetry, as long as you guys aren't separated and you're radio silent from each other, she can monitor info coming in from you guys to her via your Omni hook link.
Awesome.
So as long as that isn't damaged or you're not being radio silent for some reason, like while the sensor net was up, it was, you guys were not contacting each other because you didn't want to trip anything. But now that is down and she's landing on planet, she can stay in communication with you guys basically for the rest of your mission.
Sweet.
So imagine she's on comms if you need her to be. You can contact and talk to her if you need her to give you any information.
All right, makes sense. Cool. Well, I think, are we all ready to go?
I am.
I am ready.
Yeah.
All right. With that, the pilots will set out from Relay Station Trine to the main comm base. And we're going to head and call the end of this session right there, because when we come back, what we're going to pick up with is what happens at the comm base. So I think that's going to take a little bit more time. All right. Well, that's it for now, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Yep. Bye.